a presentation of OCA Media Sports.
OCA Media Sports is proud to present the 2018 Wisconsin State High School Rugby Championships. Today's Division III championship match pits the Madison West Side Rugby Football Club against the Chargers 2. And now, live from the Wisconsin Rugby Club Sports Complex in Cottage Grove, Wisconsin, here are your announcers, Liz Entwistle and Zach Seeloff.
We're coming to you live from the Madison United Rugby Complex in Cottage Grove, Wisconsin, the permanent home of the Wisconsin State High School Championships. Liz, great to be here with you.
Thanks. It's fantastic to be back again. It was a thrilling day of rugby when we were here last year for the state championships. Some different teams that are playing in this weekend's event. They've done some conference realignments based on performances of last year. There were some teams that folded. There are new teams in the mix. But really excited to see what happens today between this Chargers second side against this Madison West Side team. Both fantastic programs. They've got a little bit of depth in history. This Chargers team's top side is going to be playing in the Division I championship a little bit later today. Last year, their team was part of a fantastic D1 matchup. The game went to overtime. It went down to kicks. It was down to the last second. And most of these matches have been fairly close this year. We see this Chargers 2 team coming in as the Badgerland number 2 seed going into the state quarterfinals, where it was Westside that was the Badgerland number 1. Now that's the conference that includes most of Milwaukee and Madison. There's also a new conference standing for Northeast Wisconsin, so the Green Bay area teams. These teams played against other D2 sides throughout the course of the year in a combined D2, D3 setup, and then they took the top performing teams, put them into a D2 bracket just for the playoffs, took the lower teams, put them into D3, and here we are today.
It's great to be here. It's a bit of a gray day, a little bit cooler after such a hot weekend and week. It's cooled off a little bit, which I think will be great for playing a match of rugby out here. It's great to be here, too, at a purpose-built rugby field. Get the players something they don't have to play on a converted football field or something. I think it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us here on OCA Media. Visit us at ocamedia.com. We're really happy to be able to bring you these games. You can see us on Charter Cable, Channel 983 and 984, or on the web, search YouTube OCA Media.
All right, guys, do you have any questions on it?
All right, let's take a quick break, and we will be back. You're watching OCA Media's presentation of Wisconsin State Rugby.
Okay, but if you have complaints.
At Oregon Community Bank, our purpose for over 38 years has been to serve our customers. Our goal is to help them improve their financial lives with innovative banking products and services, coupled with unparalleled customer service. Doing banking the right way, bringing our skills and expertise to improve the financial stability to individuals and businesses is how we have grown. We call this Feel Good Banking. So give us a call. Drop into one of our convenient branches or connect online at OregonCommunityBank.com. Feel good about banking again.
There's no cost for imagination, no charge for dreams, no limit to what we can accomplish together. It takes grit, determination, but mostly it takes you. They are your ideas, your visions. We're here to help. Early mornings, late nights, heavy loads. We are real people turning extraordinary dreams into reality. Sunbelt Rentals. Your ideas, our equipment.
Your Social Security disability benefits have been denied.
You're upset, and maybe you're scared.
You need to appeal and get those monthly checks, but you've never done anything like this before.
It might be your first time, but not ours.
The Becker Law Office has helped over 10,000 people in Wisconsin appeal for disability benefits.
Disability law is all we do.
Call 1-800-254-7766, the Becker Law Office.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Wisconsin State Rugby Championship. Zach Seeloff and Liz Entwistle here as we are about to get underway. On our right is Madison West. They're wearing the gray shirts, black shorts, yellow numerals with yellow socks. On our left is the Chargers number 2 side, gray shirts with the zebra striping, black socks, and black shorts. Liz, what should we look for as we get started here? What are these teams going to have to do to take a quick lead?
Well, these are teams that are both familiar with each other. They would have played each other in the regular season as part of the Badgerland Conference. Will be interesting to see, especially with the U20s going on right now with the Junior World Cup, how low these teams keep their tackles. It's a day where you have high adrenaline. You're in a state championship game. It's a new scenario. This Chargers 2 team would be their younger players, mostly freshmen, sophomores on their side. Madison Westside 2, a fairly new team. They actually don't have a full roster of 22. So I think what we want to see as a coach is keeping it calm for the beginning. You really want the game to settle and to then be able to go into your playing structures. You don't want to make any unforced errors. We'll see the roles of the referees play. We've got Brad Cassetta in the middle. He's the head of all of our Wisconsin high school referees, assisted by Laura Adams and had it as Kevin Schmidt, but I believe that changed to Elena. And then our number 4, which is the referee that's going to be managing all of our subs, is Dave Hendricks. But with the conditions today, like you said, it's not too hot. We're looking at it being about 57 to 70 as the day goes on. A little bit of a slight wind, but nothing that should impact many kicks. I think you want to maintain possession more than anything else.
We'll see if they put that into practice. We've got 15 aside, ready to get started here in the Division III State Championship for boys rugby in the high school in Wisconsin. Madison West, all their players from Madison West High School. The Chargers 2 on the opposite side, and we are ready to go. Kicking us off will be Cole Maddock. Delivers a short one, does just cross the 10-meter line. What a pickup, and picking up space is West. They flip it back and get it to Bayer. Bayer trying to push through as we get into a ruck. Down he goes as that ball comes loose. Flip back now, and they'll try and gain a little more space, getting across the 22 line. Drop it down, and another ruck for West. Now flip it across again, just pushing forward, using raw physical strength as the West Side team continuing to try to advance, and now flip it across to the opposite side, taken by Bell. Bell brought down, and we get into another ruck situation. Flip it all the way outside, and now we're going deep to the far side of the field. Try and cut back inside. That's Connor Pierce.
So we've now seen about 7 to 8 phases of multi-phase play from this Westside rugby team, doing well to maintain possession, especially recovering the ball off of the kickoff. Another phase of play using their forwards. They're just crashing, going forward, trying to break the gain line. So we're looking at that 0 area where the tackle is made. Can they progress further? Would love to see the ball get out wide to the backs. We do have 70 meters worth of width to work with, and we can see that there is about 20 meters of space on the near side of the field. There's open opportunities, so they're just patiently pounding forward and trying to create that open space.
Kisielek with a nice run there, and they kick it out again to Pierce. Pierce pushing forward and gaining more space, getting closer and closer, and we've got a whistle now. Get back into the ruck, and here we go again. Kisielek once more, just diving, flips it right back, and that time taken by Miller. Miller trying to be dragged from behind, and West trying to grind here. Good defense, and now we get a call.
So this is going to be a not releasing call. It's going to be a penalty to the Chargers team. This is going to be their first time with possession of the ball, and we see them already going out to their backs, attacking through their inside-outside center, Connor Pierce and Preston Miller.
Coming through the gate, brother.
So this is a key turnover, just like the sports of hockey and basketball, football as well. It is usually the teams that win the turnover that come away with the wins in the match. We see a solid take into the contact area too. So this is a strong Chargers team testing a little bit of this Westside rugby defense.
And an up high call, you could see, laid the shoulder in. Not allowed to do that in rugby. One of the big differences between rugby and football, need to wrap up on the tackle. So that ball goes back to the Chargers, and they advance nicely, getting toward the 10-meter line. Rucking it back and advancing further. Again, just playing some power rugby here, trying to drive their way through. Now they've got some open room here on the outer edge. Looking for a pass, nothing there, and a nice wrap up by West to force them back a little bit. But the Chargers do maintain possession. Flip it now to the inside and look to work through. West just bottling them up, not letting them go anywhere. Get a call from the referee there, and now we'll continue forward. As they continue to push here at the 10-meter line, getting a bit of a maul started. Now we're down, and we'll flip it to the outer edge.
So we hear advantage being called by our referee, Brad Cassetta, just like in the game of soccer, too. If the West Side team were able to create an opportunity, if they had been able to regain possession of the ball, even though there was a knock-on, it would have been a play-on situation. They don't want to stop the play. One of the biggest things about our laws and directives when it comes to the sport of rugby is to actually have the game played. So we'll look for advantage calls, even though you may see something that's an egregious foul. It's not like basketball where you're whistling right away.
Nope, and we're going to get the scrum here. First scrum of the game.
Get in there.
Crouch Vine set the call. The ball rolls in, and they'll try and play with the feet back out one way or the other. And it is grabbed by West, and West has a lot of open space here. Fumble the pass, and that's going to be a knock-on against West. We'll switch it back to the Chargers.
So that's going to be the second turnover now by this West Side team, giving the Chargers another attacking opportunity with a scrum nearly at halfway. Something a little bit different when it comes to this U19 level of play is that there are different rules with a scrum. Normally in rugby, you're allowed a 90-degree wheel. When it comes to the U19 level, you're allowed just 45 degrees. There's no turnover. They just reset the scrum. They also have to maintain equal numbers. So if we were ever to get in a situation with a yellow card, similar to a sin bin in hockey, we'd be looking at matching the numbers in the scrum to make sure that it is a safe and stable platform.
Gotcha. And that pushback, Chargers win that scrum. And now working to the near side, getting lots of space, and they've moved it all the way onto the right wing, and here we go. Chargers running. It's John Matthew. And Matthew with a great carry. And the Chargers are in business here, pushing deeper into the West Side zone.
We see the West Side team trying to realign their backs. The Chargers have an overload to the far side of the field. We look at all these numbers, looking at the double digits being the backs that are a little bit quicker and faster, seeing if they can break it towards the outside. That was Dylan Foth taking it into contact for the Chargers. They are still going towards that left side of the field and tackled into touch, so we're going to see a line out now to the West Side team. That defender on the sideline never misses.
Nope. If you're new to the game of rugby, in touch is the same as out of bounds in football when they touch the end line. And this is one, to my mind, one of the most enjoyable parts of rugby is the line in here. Both teams will hoist one of their members up, try and swat the ball out to their side. We will see who's able to get it.
And so interesting here too, it is the team that throws in the ball that gets to set the number of players that are in the line-out line. So if the West Side team chose to go short, the Chargers would have to match. It is well taken by West Side, kicked from behind the 22-meter mark. So this is a ball that stays on field though, so no worries about any line-out trickery there.
Impressive that he was able to keep it in, and look at this run from the Chargers across the 10-meter and back into West territory. That ball goes loose, though, and it's a turnover towards West, and they've taken it back, but forced all the way back. What a tackle by Preston Miller of the Chargers. West immediately, though, fires back. And we've got a neck tackle call. Referee trying to keep things organized here, don't want any dirty play. As West continues to move it forward, trying to cut back on this one is Quentin Gomez.
So it's worth noting the setup of both of these teams too. The Chargers were set up flat in defense. They had their areas covered left and right across the field. So it was a good option for West to kick against that Charger defense. So Chargers now with the ball in hand, trying to advance past halfway.
Chargers outside once again to John Matthew. He had the big run before. His pass, though, is taken away.
So the ball nearly intercepted by the Chargers team. This is something that, by the West Side team, something that happens during the course of the game of rugby too. We noticed that referee Brad Cassetta is calling quick penalties, quick scrums, so these teams aren't getting as long of an advantage as some other referees may happen. And I think, again, like you mentioned, keeping control, these are the younger players, so safety a priority, but just getting the game moving too.
Absolutely, keep the action going, but make sure everyone's safe while we do it. Everyone down, and we ruck it back to the Chargers side. Chargers carrying it. It's Moberg kicking it all the way out, and now carried by Dylan Foth. Foth trying to get around the corner, and a great takedown by West. Keep him outside of that 22-meter zone.
This West Side team does have quite a few juniors and seniors on their roster. I think a newer team when it comes to the Badgerland Conference. There are some players here that have represented on the Wisconsin Select Side team. A lot of experience at that upper level as this Wisconsin team goes to play in the Rocky Mountain Challenge in Colorado. They play in the Cody Cup against Illinois, and also play in the Midwest All-Star Championships. We're going to have a minute on the field here, just making sure that we've got all our contacts in, shoes are tied, and of course paying attention to any potential injuries as well. So trainers on the field, a little bit of a water break. But when we look over this West Side roster too, the player worth looking at is their number 4 senior Quentin Gomez. He's actually an exchange student from Switzerland, and will be playing with the Collège de l'Abeille de Saint-Maurice.
I'm glad you took that, because I looked at it and I do not speak French. I
speak marginal French at best. Paying attention as well. Their number 12, Keyshawn Shanklin, the starting quarterback for the Madison West football team. And then coming off the bench, Fernando Burgos, that's going to be in the number 16 jersey. He's actually going to be moving on to the Marine Corps now that graduation and school is finished.
Congratulations to him. Yeah, we've got a lot of folks heading on. Number 1, Alex Okele is going to Edgewood College, a 4-year player with West here. They've got a couple of 4-year players, including number 9, Ben Thompson. He's headed to either Santa Barbara
So with Ben Thompson is going to be part of the setup of the Santa Barbara Rugby Academy. They're actually one of a few national development academies similar to Olympic development programs that happen in other sports. That's an academy run by Kevin Battle. It's also coached by Kelly Griffin, a former USA Sevens player too. So he follows in the footsteps of some other Wisconsin players. Sam Wells, notable, who spent time at Santa Barbara, is currently playing in the Super League up in Canada. So some really interesting pathways coming as a result of this select play and the high level of rugby in Wisconsin.
Outstanding collision there, just an enormous collision between Armani Warfield of Westside and John Matthew. Matthew's still down on the ground there, and this may be a yellow card. We've got referee talking with him. He's asked for the captain to come over. We'll see what he says here.
So again, we're going to be looking to see if that tackle was made from an onside position, onside being set behind the last foot of the ruck.
That is a yellow card.
We also look at keeping tackles below the armpit line. So something that came up again with U20 World Rugby directives that's going on with the Junior World Cup at the moment is really saying we want to emphasize player safety. So we're not even going to say shoulder level anymore. They're going to say armpit level and keep it low. So with the yellow card, this is going to send him off for 10 minutes. So Armani Warfield is going to take a little bit of a break in these 30-minute halves. That is going to be a game changer. So we're going to look to see if this Chargers team can take advantage of overloads when it comes to the back line, see if they can create more space on the field. And of course, restarting with a penalty here. So ball in hand, an excellent opportunity.
10 minutes of 15 on 14. The West Side will be without the services of Armand Wakefield as he gets the yellow card. They pick up this punt, though, and are able to advance. Look at him moving. It's Jake Stats. Stats all the way back up to the 10-meter line before he's finally taken down. And West gets ready to move it forward once more. Trying to cut their way through the middle, and there's a great move, and he's got one man to beat. He is gone. It's Nyshawn McGee all the way to the end line. Taps it down, and it's the first score of the game, a try for Madison West.
This is what good teams will do, is they will create try-scoring opportunities off of turnovers. So the Chargers, with a man advantage, being in their own attacking half of the field, choose to kick the ball away, comes into the West Side hands, and it's West Side that's able to take advantage of this broken play because the Chargers weren't aligned in defense. They weren't set in any set pattern. So there's more space to run on. Again, 70 meters wide, 110 meters long. We have beautiful deep in goals here too at the Cottage Grove complex here with the Wisconsin Rugby Club. But well done by Westside Rugby to score first. If they can come away with more tries while they have a player in the sin bin with the yellow card, that'll be fantastic momentum as the game carries on.
Just an outstanding run from Nyshawn McGee. Puts 5 on the board with 9:52 on the clock as we count up to 30 minutes for the first half. Putting the conversion attempt through is Ben Thompson. It is good. And with that in mind, as we cross the 10-minute line, West out to the early lead, 7-0 over the Chargers' number 2 side.
It's interesting as well when we look at the penalty count so far. We've got about 5 penalties against this West Side Chargers team, only 1 against, West Side Rugby team, 1 against the Chargers. These similar jerseys are tripping me up despite all these years of rugby.
I don't blame you.
And then the turnovers as well. West Side with 4 turnovers, but they make the one that matters count. See the kickoff from the Chargers, and this is in the hands of the man that scored the try, Nyshawn McGee. Obstruction, though, you're not allowed to run behind one of your players. There's no blocking like in the sport of football, so this is going to be an unforced error, and this gives the Chargers the ball now inside of the 22-meter line. This is the red zone when it comes to the sport of rugby.
In deep, and they're just heading straight ahead, pushing forward. Gain quite a bit of territory there, and now look to move it out to the near side. Flipped clear, and they're going to try to get it to John Matthew once more. He takes it, but he's immediately swarmed and brought down. No real gain of forward motion on that, as now we ruck it back out. Chargers running into themselves. That was Aaron Schleicher that got caught up with his own teammates. The Chargers do retain possession, though, kick it out to the far side. Nice little attempt at a tackle, but a good hold. Ben Thompson not able to bring him down. Now Westside still combining, trying to get the tackle. They finally do. And the Chargers hold it behind the 22-meter line. Now with some speed and some space, good cut inside, and now to the outside, and here come the Chargers. Carrying it is Brandon Anderson. Anderson in touch on the near side.
So a couple of broken and missed tackles here from this West Side team, giving the Chargers an opportunity. They're able to kind of weave their way inside of the 22-meter line. Something to take note of if you are watching at home and you're looking at the strategy with rugby. The Chargers scrum half is telegraphing every single pass he's going to make. He turns his entire body, he turns his hips in the direction of where he is passing to. So if you're a defender, much like Ben Thompson from the West Side team, he was able to shoot up and make a tackle. Came from an onside position. He's able to launch and go forward as soon as that ball is passed and released from scrum half's hands, or as soon as he has 2 hands on the ball. And so he's able to kind of telegraph and see what's going on. We'll see what continues as the game goes on. In this case, what's happening is a great line out and then a kick to touch here from Thompson.
And we've got a souvenir for a fan, as that one came all the way into the stands, picked up a little bit by the wind. And so that will head over to the Chargers side as we do it again.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. The scrum half, number 9, Cole Maddock, really not in any way disguising what he's going to do. That's letting Westside jump all over him as soon as they get the ball out. We'll see what they can do here on this next line in.
So we see a shorter line out. Oh, nope. Now we are full and we're back to even numbers. So 7 men in the line out, lifted to the first pot and thrown back down. The ball not straight, so this is going to give an option to Westside whether we're going to have a line out or a scrum.
Who's my best? On me, guys, on 15. You got it, Johnny?
When we look at high percentage rugby and trying to minimize errors, minimize turnover, maintain possession, the scrum generally a higher percentage opportunity, especially again at this U19 level. You don't see quite as many steals. They're not uncontested. They are still pushing, but they can't drive as much as the senior players. And again, they cannot attempt to drive through their tight or loose head props in any sort of way. We're not looking at any wheels happening. So this is going to be a nice 8-man pick, but connection missed here to Ben Thompson. And a great tackle here by the Chargers.
Oh, a knock on against the Chargers there.
Love that defense there from the number 8, Devin Sieben. He's going to be playing, or excuse me, continuing on to college at Madison College. So some of these players, if their college sides don't have rugby teams, may end up playing here for the Wisconsin Rugby Club or any of the 10 teams that are involved. The Minotaurs here as well. It also includes the college teams, the men and the women, middle school, high school. A lot of opportunity for rugby here.
It's great to see it building up here in the state of Wisconsin and in Madison in particular, as Westside trying to push forward. Not a sport that unfortunately enjoys a lot of support from the WIA just yet, but as the Chargers pick up a turnover and now race it back in, and the Chargers have been threatening here a lot this game, trying once more to get something ahead on West. Big rope tackle. Referee doing a nice job here being both educator and official as the Chargers move forward. Oh boy, that one was a little bit high. And nope, we're going to play it on.
Well, we see advantage being shown. That's what referee Brad Cassetta has his hand out towards the Chargers team, meaning that they have advantage. If they can't produce something positive, we're going to see the scrum or the penalty called. In this case, it is a penalty. We're at the 22-meter line. If they have a kicker, I would love to see them go for 3 points here. On a penalty, you have the option for a quick tap play. You have an option for setting up a set play, which we saw earlier. They ran a fake dummy line with their forwards and instead pass it out to their backs. They can kick to touch and have their own line out. They can opt for a scrum or they can kick for points. Now we see this West Side team down 2 players. At the 22-meter line, at a higher level, I love the option for a scrum because then you're setting yourself with a 2-man advantage and a stable platform. They're setting up as if they're going to be running. Look for the tap from their scrum half straight to the forwards. So see they can pound it, but look at all this space to the near side of the field. We have a 20-meter gap between the fly half and the wing, and we have about 6 Chargers that are lined up towards this right side.
The Chargers advancing nicely here, getting well inside the 22-meter zone. They hang on to this ball and move it out. Matthew on the outside, he picks up the pass, tries to cut in, but is roped down. That time taken down by Muhammad Trawley. Chargers do hang on though, work it to the middle of the field. Now looking for some open space. Solid tackling from West, keeping them out. And this one is picked up by West, and they got it on the turnover. Flip it outside and looking to move back the other direction. A bit of a lift there, but we'll continue on. West Side still controlling.
So if you're West Side here too, you're trying to maintain composure and keep the tempo of the game. You want to make sure that you have the ball. You don't want to give up tries, especially being short 2 men on the field. So not looking for anything fancy, no sort of razzle-dazzle here. But again, going to that same pick-and-go style that they opened the game with.
Devin Sieben, number 8, with a great advance to get it forward to this position. West now moving it far out towards the middle of the field. And a great throw across, that time by Nishan McGee, who had the try earlier for Westside. Still 7-0 with 16 minutes on the clock here in the first half of the D3 Boys Championship.
So we see a penalty now to the Chargers team. This is going to be another turnover committed by this West Side team. However, they have done well. They've been covering well in defense. They've gotten a couple key turnovers themselves. So even though the turnover count at the moment is more than double to the Chargers side, we still see West Side winning 7-0.
Chargers have it though, bunts in the red zone again and look to move through right through the center of the field, and a straight stick from West keeps them from going ahead. Kick it outside now and work to the opposite side of the field. Carrying that one, Avery Byer.
The Chargers team often has the numbers out to the right and to the left. Of course, they do have the overload just because of the difference in men on the field. But something that they're doing is they're passing rather flat, and they are all taking the ball standing, flat-footed. We don't see them moving forward. They're not attempting to even get to, much less break the gain line. If they had any sort of momentum going forward, they might be able to break some of these tackles from this West Side team. However, that has not happened, and this has kept them pretty stagnant on their attack. We haven't seen them actually make many meters forward, except for these penalties that are happening. So I'd love to see the Chargers just get on their front foot and actually make the defense commit to them in some way and then take advantage of the overloads that they have.
With a two-player advantage, certainly now is the time to attack. 17:25 on the clock. We'll play to 30 minutes per half here. You hear the call for the scrum, and the ball rolls in.
Nearly a turnover ball here too. However, it is the responsibility of both of the front rows in the sport of rugby. That's the two props wearing the number 1 and the number 3 jersey, the hooker wearing the number 2, to keep the ball in the tunnel. So the ball can't just be rolled all the way across the scrum. We're going to have the scrum reset. Worth noting here with this Chargers team, they have inserted their fullback wearing the number 16 jersey. They're missing a 15, and he is lined up in this strong side of the field with the backs. So they're going to have a multiple man advantage. When we look across the field to the way that the West Side team is set up in defense, they have their fly half straight behind the scrum just in case there's a pick to go weak. And then we have only 3 men defending about 40 meters of space to the near side of the field. So this is an opportunity if the Chargers can get a clean ball off of the scrum.
Awful lot of grass to cover for West Side here as the ball goes into the scrum, and this one is grabbed out by the Chargers. Got some space, flip it in, a nice cut inside, and here they go. Heading towards the try line is Connor Pierce. He's down into the end zone. He's got to ground it.
So interesting here is that the try was held up. All you had to do was touch the ball down. They used to say you had to apply downward pressure. They used to say it had to be grounded. Now the ball just has to touch the ground. However, it is held up, so that means that one of the West Side players got his hands, part of his body, underneath the ball between the grass and the ball itself. So this is not a try. What we're going to see instead is a 5-meter scrum.
A tough break there for the Chargers, but they do have it in deep here if they can recover this scrum once again.
We'll see if they run that same play as before. What we saw was a 1-2 switch coming between their fly half and their inside center. So the 10 taking a line out, the 12 taking an X line back inside. It worked well because there's a little bit of space opened up. Now we see West Side lined up strong on the goal line. We're going to have the scrum reset. So it is still the Chargers on attack. I don't know if their fullback realizes, though, he is set up back deep for a kick.
He is way back here, almost toward the half field line, the 50-meter line.
So if he was going to be in an attacking position, would like to see him much closer, give him the option to go to the right or the left, as this is a scrum center. And then if there's a turnover, he'd be able to get back and cover in the event of a kick. The ball's not turned over. They're going to the weak side, but he is alone. We'll see if this wing can dive and dodge his way through. Nearly there to the try line, but again, that fullback could have been handy in that scenario.
Battling right on the edge. Now they do flip it. Got a chance. Brought down by West once more. Battle here just a few meters from the line.
And now a key turnover again. So this has been the story of the Chargers' day so far. They're stringing together 4 or 5 phases of play. They're not getting good go forward, and then they're making those silly, careless errors at the end. This is going to buy the West Side team out of a dangerous situation inside of their own 22. Defending well, down 2 men. Now they have a line out nearly to halfway, so they've got 40 meters of space downfield from what was a 5-meter scrum. Should have been a try for the Chargers. All he had to do was ground that ball.
And we've got to give West credit here, facing some very, very difficult challenges, 2 men down, and their tackling has been sure. They hold up a try attempt in the end zone and are able to keep keep the Chargers off the board. West up 7-0 here with 21 minutes on the clock. We've got 9 minutes to go here in the first half of the D3 Boys Championship here in Wisconsin.
So we see a full line-out setup. This means that Westside is going to be short with their backs when they're attacking, but as we saw before, it just needs to get in the hands of that number 10, Nyshan McGee. The ball overthrown here in the lineout, so it goes to the last man we always call in the tail gunner. They're there just in case something goes wrong, or they're there to make a tackle on defense.
Plays it wisely and gets hold of it. West working towards the near side. Now a cut back in. Flip out is lost, and there's the whistle.
So this was a long advantage being played. This is going to be a free kick back at the side of the lineout. So the reason we saw a longer advantage in this scenario is that Westside did have possession of the ball. We are going to see if they could get any sort of go forward. Generally, it's a couple passes. Some referees, it'll be about 5 to 10 meters of go forward space is enough of an advantage. But in this situation, we didn't see anything better than this free kick opportunity, so it goes back to the free kick. A free kick different from a penalty, meaning that while they have the ball, if they were to kick it out of bounds, it would be a line out to the other team. In a penalty situation, you maintain possession or your throw in the line out. They opt to go quick downfield.
And look at them driving up here past the 10-meter line. Another flip, and they've got to move on the far side, step on the edge and out. And we will get another line out here.
This time the line out will be to the Chargers side, so of course we're going to be paying attention to the numbers. Again, it is the offensive team that is going to set the numbers in the line out. They must have a minimum number of people to have the line out set is 2. They have to have a hooker covering inside the channel or someone in the hooker position. Their scrum half is out. And now it is the Chargers on attack. A little bit of a mispass there, but it finds us into the hands of fullback Jaden Wolfgram.
Wolfgram is down. Referee calling for release. Ball still controlled by the Chargers. They'll try and just push right back through the same hole. Nothing doing there. Set it down, and we'll do it again. We've got one West player just trapped behind the line. He reports, and we're good to go once more.
It was actually a pretty smart play by the West Side number 7, Eric Pies Hendrick. When we have a tackle, you have to release a player, and you're not allowed to go for the ball or go forward unless you've backed yourself back up through the gate. That's a change and a law variation that happened over the summer of 2017. It has changed a little bit of what happens in the breakdown. So just because you tackle doesn't mean you can immediately go for the ball. You still need to come from an onside position. We see a penalty against Westside. This is the Chargers on attack again.
Nice little whip there by the Chargers. Connor Pierce got himself a couple extra meters, and the Chargers control. Flip it to their left and work across the midfield line. Chargers settle it back. Colmatic with it. Flips it further off to that far side. A nice one-handed pass and some space, and here go the Chargers. What a tackle from behind, and who else but Nyshawn McGee making the stop there for West, but it is still Charger ball.
Good cover tackles. We're looking to see again, can they align themselves on defense and get across the field? Chargers giving them time to do so. I would just love to see them get a couple of steps going forward. A little bit of a missed pass. It's advantage to the West Side team with the knock on just barely off of the hands of the Chargers number 7, Avery Bayer. We're going to see a scrum to West Side, and we'll be looking to see if we're getting back close to full force for this West Side team. We should have 14 on the field, and it'll be the next one when it is allowed back on. So we were just about at the time for those yellow cards.
Gentlemen, we got 6 minutes left anyway.
24.5 on the clock. 7-0 is the lead for West Side. A lone try by Nyshawn McGee, the difference in this game.
So again, we've got 8 on 8 in the scrum. We have to maintain even numbers. This means that West Side is going to be short with their backs. We see McGee, ball in hand, passing it to his inside center. The quarterback from the West Side football team, Keyshawn Shanklin, finding all the way to the outside. Some great moves here by this West Side team to attack downfield, and they are still going. What nice runs.
Russian Connor Smith with a nice play there. McGee has it knocked away from him. That loose ball picked up by the Chargers, and the Chargers running ahead. This time it's Carter Bell as we go down into the ruck once more.
So solid tackling by the Chargers, creating that turnover situation, coming away with the ball in hand. Now settling a little bit. We have 1 phase, 2 phase, and now it's getting out to their backs.
They'll try and work it near side here. Nice move around at midfield and a great pass. Looking to get it to Matthew. He's got it, coughs it up, but it comes right into the hands of 16 Wolfram. Moving forward and dragged down, but that will stay with the Chargers.
So advantage being called, we are going to see a penalty to the Chargers team. I think a little bit of confusion when it came to the breakdown area. You have to keep your feet. You have to maintain control of your body. We're looking to keep shoulders above your butt level.
And we're going to bring back in the West player that was issued that yellow card previously. And so we are now 15 on 15 as John Gutnecht is able to come back on.
So penalty to the Chargers means that this will be their line out, so they're going to be about 8 meters from the goal line. We'll see if they have any sort of power here when it comes to their lineouts. In a lot of these situations, you'd look to see or look to have a full lineout, have all 7 forwards in the line. You have your thrower, you have someone in the hooker position, scrum half as the receiver. And would almost certainly expect to see a maul. So that's a situation where you're driving forward, you're maintaining possession of the ball, but the lineout is not over when you're still in a maul until the last foot crosses the line of the lineout. So we see this area, the center line down the middle. We're gonna have about a meter of space to either side. And if the lineout is not over, that means that the backs cannot be involved in the play. They have to stay 10 meters back until the lineout is through.
Just inside of 3.5 minutes to go. Chargers grab it. It's Cole Maddock flipping it across, and here come the Chargers in open space. Nice flip in. That one taken by Preston Miller, and he is brought down about 5 meters short of the line.
So
and
we're going to have a little bit of a conference here between the captain, Nishon McKee, and referee Brad Casetta. What we saw coming from this Chargers team on attack was a dummy switch. So we saw a 1, dummy 2, passing it out to their 13. So that being the number 3, we look at the receivers being 1, 2, 3, 4 going across the field. What we're getting into with this little conference situation is that we've had a high penalty count. This West Side team has been penalized now
this one
10
going
times.
Against Ben Thompson.
And we're going to see a yellow card issue, so a 3rd yellow card for this West Side team. Chargers looking to convert. Again, this would be an opportunity to kick for points. If they had kicked for points when they had that close penalty before, if they could have done it this time, we'd be looking at a game that could be 7-6. Instead, 7-0. They're feeling confident with the try. It's a good run going forward by the Chargers. Number 3, Colin Boyton.
And now we work it out to the outside, and they've got some room there. Cutting back to the inside towards the line down. He presses it, and that is a try for the Chargers' second side. 5 points on the board, and a conversion attempt to come with just under 3 minutes to play in this half.
So we saw the ball get out to the far side wing there, number 11, Dylan Foth.
Foth with a great effort to fight his way across the line. West opposing him every step of the way, but he manages to touch it down and get the score. And the Chargers in a position to tie it up here as we head into halftime.
Be a little bit of a difficult conversion kick. We do have the wind blowing across the field from the left side to the right. You see how this kicker sets up. You'll see some kickers actually tilt the ball backwards, like in American football. You'll see some kickers tilt the ball forward. You're looking for that sweet spot on the seam about 1/3 of the way up. A left-footed kicker.
Just misses wide on the near side here. Pushes it a little bit right, and so the conversion no good. At 28:03 on the clock, it is 7-5 West. Boy, that can, just like in American football, as you mentioned, missing an extra point, missing a conversion here, that could be huge in a low-scoring game.
It is certainly tricky. And again, coming with that left-footed angle, you're certainly aiming for the far post when you're kicking with weird angles. You're allowed to bring the ball back as far as you want from where the try was actually scored. So it's not like American football. We're not kicking straight on from the middle of the field. It's not coming at the 20-yard line. You could bring it back all the way to halfway if you want for a better angle too. So just getting a little bit wide. The wind may have played the factor, but I think, again, being a left-footed kicker coming from that left side, it's tricky.
That is a tough, so you're sweeping the leg through that arc, and you've got to find just the right motion. So as we get back in, it's Ben Thompson for West that kicks it off. The Chargers pick it up, and we've got just about a minute left to play in this first half. Knocked down, and we'll get a throwback from Maddock. Chargers looking to work, and a nice little run from Connor Pierce. Finds some space, but then is met by the back line of West.
That is the second successful switch that we've seen from the 1-2 combination of this Chargers team. And of course, there was a 3rd time where they ran the dummy play. If you're West Side, you're going to be protecting towards the inside. So as defense is aligning, you have to be talking to the guy to your left, to your right. If you've got the cutback, you've got the moves. They're going to have to respect that space back inside. A powerful takedown. That looked like almost like a wrestling move there.
Huge tackle. Alex Akule just driving him to the ground. Almost a body slam. Ball still loose.
The tackle safe nonetheless, though, as the player did land hips first. If any player goes down shoulder, head first, that's where we're going to see automatic yellows, automatic red cards as well. But if we're landing legs, hips, kind of the progression of lower to upper body, you're going to be okay. And he did hold on to him. He didn't just throw him. If he had flung him down, that would have been a bad situation.
First maul of the game ends up not really dispositive, and so we're going to have another restart here. 1 second on the clock.
So interesting with the game of rugby is that this cannot end on a penalty. It's not going to end just because time is up on the game clock. The referee is going to keep official time. They're going to play until the ball is made dead. So that means a scrum situation. It could be a try. We could have a line out, but it can't be a line out off of a penalty either. So it's very key with the rugby law. It's about the ball being made dead to end the half or end a game. This is going to be a free kick. So this is small infractions, minor infractions in the scrum. Something like having your foot up as a hooker is going to immediately yield a free kick. But right now we're going to come to halftime. So halftime is going to see West Side leading the Chargers 7-5, a thriller of a first half. I'm just so impressed that West Side was able to not just keep the Chargers from scoring, but to score themselves when they were down men. They're going to start the second half still with their key fly half in the sin bin. We'll see what happens in the second half coming up there.
An excellent first half from both of these teams. We've got another half coming. We're going to go to a quick break, and we will be back. You're watching Boys State Rugby on OCA Media.
At Oregon Community Bank, our purpose for over 38 years has been to serve our customers. Our goal is to help them improve their financial lives with innovative banking products and services, coupled with unparalleled customer service. Doing banking the right way, bringing our skills and expertise to improve the financial stability to individuals and businesses is how we have grown. We call this Feel Good Banking. So give us a call. Drop into one of our convenient branches or connect online at OregonCommunityBank.com. Feel good about banking again.
There's no cost for imagination, no charge for dreams, no limit to what we can accomplish together. It takes grit, determination, but mostly it takes you. They are your ideas, your visions. We're here to help. Early mornings, late nights, heavy loads. We are real people turning extraordinary dreams into reality. Sunbelt Rentals. Your ideas, our equipment.
Your Social Security disability benefits have been denied.
You're upset, and maybe you're scared.
You need to appeal and get those monthly checks, but you've never done anything like this before.
It might be your first time, but not ours.
The Becker Law Office has helped over 10,000 people in Wisconsin appeal for disability benefits.
Disability law is all we do.
Call 1-800-254-7766, the Becker Law Office.
Hi, I'm Liz Entwistle with OCA Media. Alongside me is Chase Jolly. Chase, an alumni of the Middleton team that's going to be playing in our D2 championship later today. Chase, you were here playing as a player, 2013, 2015 for a state championship?
Yes. Yeah, I had a great time. We ended up, we lost our 2015 year. But it's great to see that teams are coming out and playing hard and hard hitting, just like the West team. They're playing hard defense, good hits, and some solid, poach ball and whatnot.
Yeah. So Chase here is actually an assistant coach with the Middleton team. You would have seen some of these teams in your conference play. We've seen the Badgerland Conference actually produce both of the teams in the D3 and the D2 finals out of this Wisconsin overall state area. We have teams from the new Northeast Conference as well. With these teams, are there any players that stand out in particular, or players with your involvement in the Wisconsin Select side too that you're keeping an eye on?
There is a lot of players. I don't want to say any names, but we're keeping track of them and making sure they're going to play hard in this final. And I hope they continue to play the sport. And they have a good future ahead of them about a majority of these programs.
Now we see a lot of these senior players are going to be moving on to play college rugby. Of course, University of Wisconsin-Madison playing in the CRC today. You yourself had an opportunity with a scholarship at Bethel, have continued on to the USA U20 level. How did your Wisconsin experience as both a player on the Middleton team and the Selects team impact where you're going today and, of course, your future goals with Major League Rugby and beyond?
There's a lot of pathways that you can travel through here. There's a lot of programs in Wisconsin that actually help you achieve those pathways, and such as Selects. And there's a lot of recruiters that come out to these tournaments, and they really look for solid players and good at work ethic.
Fantastic. Thank you, Chase. We're going to cut back to the action here with the second half of our game with the Chargers against Westside. Good luck in your matchup later today.
Welcome back, everybody. The second half of this game between the Chargers and Madison West. West on the left as we look to them, wearing the yellow socks. Chargers on the right. West with a 7-5 advantage after the first half, and they get the initial kickoff. Tackled down outside the 22. We'll get a quick whistle here to start us off.
see the scrum put in by the Chargers scrum half. Worth noting that if there were to be a turnover situation here, we are inside of the 22. This must make a little bit of a difference if there are kicks that go to touch. If you're behind the 22, you're allowed to kick to touch. It'd be a line out where the ball crosses the plane of the sideline. If you're in front of the 22, or you pass back inside and the ball goes straight out to touch, then that line out is taken from where the ball was kicked. We'll see if that happens a little bit later, and go into it in depth as needed.
Scrum straight away here at the start of the game. 1 minute off the clock in the second half. 7-5 is the lead for Madison West. As the Chargers will roll this one in, and we've got another whistle. Having some trouble getting this scrum set up properly.
Making sure that these players are keeping their feet. We also have to make sure that there is a wide enough tunnel. With this newer scrum engagement here with the crouch, bind, set, the teams and the props are already going to be together. It used to be that you launched from behind. So we have to make sure we've got the proper distances. The ball coming out on the far side.
And it is West, Ben Thompson, that gets it. And West cannot believe whatever the call from the referee was. They were pretty disappointed, obviously.
The ball is straight out the tunnel again, so the ball does need to be hooked back by somebody in the front row. It didn't happen, so now we're going to see another put in for the Chargers. So plenty of scrum practice here for these young men in the Wisconsin Division 3 state championship match. We see another steal here by the West Side team.
Great work in the scrum, and as they push it forward, kick it all the way to the far side, step around one man and got some space, and what a move forward by West. That was Armani Warfield, had the yellow card in the first half, playing great now in the second as they work it now to the near side. You and I were talking at the half. West definitely an older team and a bigger team, and that physicality helping them on both sides of the ball so far today.
It is. They were able to break some of the tackles. They've got some powerful runners when they've got some good go forward. Keeping an eye on this number one, Alex Coulier, the 4-year player from Madison West going on to Edgewood College. He has been a force on both offense and defense alike. This is a great kick to touch, getting them valuable meters downfield for this West Side team. Again, still short one player. They get to maintain possession of the ball. They get to set the line out. And we get a beauty here right in front of our commentator's booth.
It was perfect. I thought that ball might come into the booth, honestly. It was headed our way. As it is, we'll get the line out just about midfield. The throw-in will be taken by Devin Sieben of West, as both teams get ready.
Worth noticing for the West team that John Goodkent has moved from the wing position to the fly half position here. While we do have the yellow card tonight, Sean McKee, John's going to be moving on to Arizona State. Third in the nation in sevens, 2017 and 2015. There's been some ties from the Wisconsin area. The Sanders brothers right now, though, it's a turnover ball. We see the Chargers with possession, and it is Goodkent that actually commits the infraction. The ball was not out. The referee still deemed it in the ruck, so we can't just break the line and move forward.
It was a great run by Ben Thompson earlier, and now we've got a nice cut here coming forward from Connor Pierce. Pierce driving ahead. Referee calling to let him go, and it goes back to Cole Maddock. Working inside, and you see the inside cut a lot from the Chargers. I'm not sure if they're not confident in their speed or if it's when they're getting the ball, they're just too tight on the defense, don't have a way to the outside.
I think some of it comes from the communication from the defenders on the outside, too. We see that as their go-to move. They're always cutting in, even though there's space to the outside. If you are one of those wing players, the number 11, the number 14 towards the outside, you want to call for the ball and make sure that your teammates know that you're there. You want to give them distance, depth, as much communication as you can on the field.
And a little, speaking of miscommunication there, I think Cole Maddock was expecting to go towards the near side, instead forced to go far side. Now they do come near side on this second ruck. Work their way across the 22. Nice little pitch back. It's lost, but picked back up by the Chargers. Carter Bell driving just right into the teeth of the defense as Maddock looks to ruck it up again. Little bounce pass, and that one taken by Pierce. Pierce passed one man, but Thompson wraps him back up and takes him down. The ball loose in there. West Side comes up with it, and they are going to be able to take this one away.
A good strip by the West Side, number 12, Keyshawn Shanklin. I think West Side, as a result of having so many penalties, is actually playing a little bit softer on defense than they were in the first half. You see these opportunities where they could be launching forward almost like a blitz when it comes to defensive tactics, because there's been mishandles here by this Chargers team, but I think they're scaling it back. They're not quite as aggressive as they were. It's a good call. They're adjusting to how the referees called the game so far, protecting that 7-5 lead, making sure they don't end up with any other players that are going into the sin bin.
3 yellow cards will definitely give you a little bit of sense of caution out there. And we are going to scrum it up again here right on the 22-meter line. 35-24 showing on the clock. We'll play to 60 minutes. Once the ball goes dead after that, 7-5, the lead for Madison West over the Chargers here in the D3 Boys Championship. That one's rolled in. The Chargers have got it, looking to send it back. Still trying to get it to Cole Maddock. Now they've got it loose. Maddock takes a little run and flips it across, so that's a nice step-in move and taken by Carter Bell. Bell wrapped up, and down he goes.
Yeah, created a little bit of space downfield by running that dummy play. So we saw that attempt that many times here with the Chargers. Connor Pierce again taking that inside line. Instead, we see open space, and we see Carter Bell able to get the ball downfield outside about 6 meters from the goal line. We'll see what the Chargers can do. What they're going to do instead is, unfortunately, knock the ball on. Correction. They were not rolling away, so we're going to see a penalty to Westside. So again, attacking, getting just about there, and it is another penalty against the Chargers team. And another line out to the Westside team. So we've seen this play out now 4 or 5 times. Their red zone attack has got to be stronger.
We have really seen the Chargers struggle, and it's what we mentioned at the top of this half, I think, the physicality. Once you're down in those, you're 5-10 meters away, you've got to be able to just push through. And so far, West is winning that battle on the edge.
We'll see what West can do now. They're back up to full strength as Nashon McGee back onto the field, so that'll shift John Goodconnect back out to the wing. A line out to Westside. Just past the 10-meter mark. And we see a steep attack. Worth noting, too, that Westside has number 3, Juan Avila.
And it's taken away on the line out by the Chargers. Move it across and head towards the middle of the field, and they'll just drive in, but the ball is knocked free by West. Kicked forward, an alert play, and the Chargers coming up with speed. Knocked to the ground is Fernando Burgos, but it's still held by Westside, and the Chargers swarming here inside the 22-meter line. Great attack. The Chargers, even though they're on defense, still pushing, playing aggressive. Westside trying to find a way out. Ben Thompson now elects to punt it, just give his team a little breathing room, and the Chargers take over.
It was a cheeky little box kick from the scrum half from the Westside team, but what it's done, though, is create a turnover situation. Now Chargers with the ball on attack again. I think they've got their adrenaline going. That little kick downfield, even though the ball was stripped, gave them that intensity, a little bit of a sense of urgency. We'll see if they can maintain that. Westside, of course, looking to prevent it, what they've done before so many times, just remain calm on defense. So this time, he's not releasing on the tackle. It is going to be a penalty to the Chargers team. So again, the opportunity to get some good go forward.
The quick play and a solid tackle there from Armani Warfield. Oh, and Warfield, who had a yellow card previously, this may be number 2 as the referee reaches for his pocket. That tackle did get up a little bit higher. I think we've got some Chargers supporters underneath us. You can hear them.
It'll be interesting to hear what referee Brad Casetta says as well. This is going to be a double yellow for the Red, so we're going to be down for the rest of the game is this Westside team. When there's a penalty situation, you have to be 10 meters back. You cannot attempt to make a tackle without making that attempt to get back 10. I think that may have been in the situation here because we saw Warfield up so much deeper into the Chargers territory than the rest of his team. So that situation being an intentional, offsides, if you will, not being back 10 is going to be a card in most situations, especially when you're coming into high-level state play.
High tackle the signal, and the Chargers benefit, working it to the outside edge now. And it's Matthew once again on that right wing, looking to push through. Gets as far as he can inside of the 22. And the referee clearly unhappy with what he's seeing from Westside. Wants to have a chat. Let's listen in. All right, I'm going to mute it there while he has a discussion with Ben Thompson. Yellow card again shown, and just like that, once more, West is down 2 players.
That they are. So if you're the West Side team, you're going to be looking to maintain your composure. You can't afford any more cards at this juncture in the game. They're still nursing that 7-5 lead. They're going to have to play composed rugby, look to maintain possession. They don't need to do anything flashy. We don't need to see big breaks downfield. They need to make sure anytime they have a ball in hand, they're going with support. When they are tackling, they've got to release those tackles. They have to roll away. Those are directives when it comes to the ruck situation. Make sure that they're maintaining onside. So like we said, to start this half, it looked like they were being a little bit less aggressive in defense. If they can just maintain their flat defensive line and not bite on these switch line runs by the Chargers team, they could be okay. We saw them defend with 13 before. if you're the Chargers, again, you know that you have this advantage now. Your adrenaline is going. You're down by 2. You need to score, but they don't need to force anything. They still have 20 minutes left of time in this second half.
Chargers in the driver's seat, and as you say, 39.5 minutes showing on the clock as we get ready to bring it back in here. Westside maintaining a tenuous lead, 7-5, but they have 2 players down. High tackle, the call for the yellow card as Cole Maddock gets us started once more.
So we're in a situation again because of the high penalty count to this
West
Westside
right to the end line, started to take it away. He's almost to the zone. He touches it down. We do not yet have a signal. No signal. And it's a try for the Chargers. Just like that, the yellow card comes out, the Chargers push forward, and it's the substitute number 17 getting the score. 10-7 with a conversion attempt coming.
So a good try scoring run by Dominic Dominguez, making an impact here as a sub. Chargers faithful, pleased with that effort. We're going to see the conversion kick this time coming a little bit closer to center field. Again, bearing in mind if this is the same kicker as before. He's a left-footed kicker, so we're looking to see like a little bit of a hook depending how he plants his foot and how he approaches the ball here. Chargers happy with the lead, currently up 10-7 pending the extras.
This looks good, and it makes it through. The conversion is good. And the score now, Chargers 12, Madison Westside 7. The penalty finally catches up with West, the penalty bug that they have been bitten by over and over in this game. And it allows Chargers to take the lead here in the second half.
Before we saw that brilliant try-scoring run, was going to say we're getting into the areas of persistent infringement now. We've been warned. Referee Brad Cassetta has talked to the captains many times about these high tackles. When we look at the penalty count, Westside has nearly 3 times as many penalties as a Chargers team. I've got Westside at about 13 or 14 penalties. The Chargers at only 4. So that's going to make a big difference as this game goes on. We're going to see more cards issued if the tackles aren't kept low by this Westside team. So again, just composure, stick to the basics, trust in their fundamentals. They've been doing it all game so far, winning with their physicality. Chargers able to take advantage of a couple lapses, so they've scored twice off of penalties themselves.
Well, we know Keyshawn Shanklin is a football player for West. Looking at the physiques of some of his teammates, I would not be surprised if they're football players as well. And as you know, tackling in American football, very different from in rugby, and it may be just trying to overcome that muscle memory. On the kickoff, it actually heads to a line out.
So the ball bounced first. This is going to be a line out where the ball crossed the plane of the touch line, rather than if the ball had gone straight out, we could actually see a scrum to the center of the field. The team would have an option again. They could take a quick line out. There'd be a lot of things they could do, but since the ball bounced first, this is going to be a regular old-fashioned rugby line out.
Excellent. Referee Brad Cassetta doing a great game, keeping this game in control, making sure there's no funny business, and the throw in. We grab the Chargers, and they will work it offensively again, and a nice deep boot here, and that gets well past Ben Thompson. A lot of speed on this Chargers team, and they're using it here as they look to tackle up Thompson. What a stop. Carter was Carter Bell with the stop. And now the turnover does go to the Chargers as they work back in on offense again. Colin Boyd, and we're into the ruck.
It's an unfortunate situation for this Westside team to be in, where they are short a couple players. We saw Ben Thompson have to drop back to the fullback position. He didn't have support with him. His only choice was to take the ball up. Had he countered with a kick, we would have had all kinds of weird offside scenarios. He would have been by himself, giving a turnover ball. So like the option to go forward, it was just a great strip and a great turnover here by Colin Boynton from the Chargers team. And now they're still moving.
Westside coming up with the ball on the loose grab. And we've got a whistle against the Chargers, so this will go to West.
When forming the ruck, you do need to come between 8 gates. So there's about a 1 meter area around where the tackle happens, and you have to come from straight behind. You cannot just join from the side. So the call going against the Chargers in this scenario.
Ooh, boy.
Good kick to touch here.
If you're the owner of a fertilizer spreader, please come check on it, as it was smashed by the ball out here. So that one in touch.
See a line out to Westside. So Westside figuring out what they're going to do. Again, short a couple players. And the last line out, we saw them with 6 men in compared to the Chargers 7. Of course, it was a Chargers line out, so they set the numbers. In this scenario, Westside will set the numbers. So we're looking again at a 6-man setup. So we see an extra player from Chargers. This would be up. Now he's dropping out. Had he stayed in, it would have been a penalty.
Good recognition from the Chargers. Avoid the whistle as we get ready for the touch. Some confusion and just throw it right into the lead man. And it's Westside that controls. Taken down, but they managed to throw it back and keep it working out to the far side here, using that speed, moving it forward. A nice toss there, but a great stick by the Chargers stops that offensive push. And we're going to have another discussion. We've got both captains here now. Let's listen in.
So we're going to have another high tackle, this time by the Chargers team. We're going to see their fullback wearing the number 16 jersey, Jaden Wolfgram, getting a yellow card of his own. So again, all these high tackles being policed. And the setup to that, a little bit of confusion here from the Westside team. They ended up going with the 5-meter short line out, going to the first lifter. There was nothing really deceptive about it because of how long it took to form. But sometimes you see these little trick plays. Again, looking to play high percentage rugby. So now we have a one-man difference between each team. It is still the Chargers with an extra man on the field, 14 against 13. So there's going to be a little bit more space to work with. We'll see what Nishon can do with the ball in hand.
McGee with a nice run, but a great stick and a bring down by Easton Moberg of the Chargers. Westside still controls as they look to just drive and push, getting into the ball and just breaking free. And West going ahead is Devin Sieben. Sieben with a lot of power in those legs. He is finally brought down. But Westside still controls, and it's Nishon McGee again. A great tackle on Nishon McGee from Colin Baton.
So Westside looking to play a little bit more of a compact game. You can see almost their entire team within about 10, 12 meters of space with one another here too. It was a good shooting attempt by the Chargers, but well done by Westside to keep their feet. A brilliant break here. This is Keyshawn Shanklin getting downfield, getting across the goal line. It is going to be Shanklin with the score, tying the game 12-12 and giving Westside a chance to go ahead pending this conversion attempt. So playing it tight, opened up just enough space for Keyshawn to sneak through.
Keyshawn Shanklin using his speed, gets to the edge and turns the corner, heads into the end zone, touches it down, and we are tied at 12, pending the two-point conversion attempt. Westside trying to fire up their supporters, including number 1, Alex Akule, looking to get everyone engaged here.
Well, it's a vocal Chargers crowd here, so I think Westside doing all that they can. Of course, being maybe the more local team, they're actually a part of this Madison United setup here. Again, 10 teams worth of rugby here at the Cottage Grove complex. Looking to see here a key conversion kick. Interesting here, in the game of 15s, you actually have 90 seconds to take your conversion attempt. This is a great opportunity to just calm yourself down, get a few deep breaths in, go through your routine, you get a little bit of water. There's no need to rush this kick.
And it'll be Ben Thompson to take it for West, and he favors the more forward-leaning angle.
He's taking 7 steps back. That's a long approach for a kick. Now we see the 2 to the side. Hopefully it pays off for the young man heading to the Santa Barbara Rugby Academy.
The clock has failed on the scoreboard, so apologies, we don't have an official time for you. Here's Thompson's conversion kick, and unfortunately pushed it left, kicked it nice and straight, but shoved it hard to the left. It's no good, and boy, we talked about it with Chargers, and here with West, those missed conversions can really be the difference, and instead of Westside having a lead, we are tied at 12.
So now we're going to see the Chargers team bringing on a couple of substitutions here, rounding out the last 12 or so minutes of play when it comes to action on the field. It is going to be the Chargers kicking off to Westside. And whoever scores next is going to walk away with the win. This is, again, adrenaline pumping. You've got the crowd involved. We see more and more numbers coming in to the Wisconsin Rugby Complex here in Cottage Grove. Of course, all the other action going on. Middle school rugby, we see some of the best of the rest competition. So we have 2 fields in action, plenty of teams here spectating the ball.
In touch off the kickoff. Wise move by Westside, put their hands up, avoid touching it.
So this is going to be a line out to Westside, although it looks like there may have been a knock-on. I see a little bit of confusion when it comes.
Awesome, maybe.
Is that a setup for a line out?
Well, perhaps I was mistaken. But it sure looked like it went, it bounced and went out. I thought West managed to avoid it. Apologies to both our sound engineers and to you at home. The wind is really whipping up here. I know that's getting into our mics a little bit.
All right, so it is a Westside line out. They're looking for a little bit of trickery here too. Going to throw to their second pod. We can see that they actually had their full amount of lifters and jumpers marked up in that position rather than the first position. It's paid off, but fantastic defense here by this Charger team. A great time
Avery
to create
Bayer
a turnover if it stands, but it's going to be knocked on by the Chargers. Almost there.
Avery Bayer, a killer stop for the Chargers. Just a great takedown here behind the 22-meter line.
If you're West Side, you're looking to, again, control the scrum. You need to get the ball first, and then being inside your 22, looking to perhaps buy a little bit of space. We've seen good kicks downfield from Ben Thompson. We saw him with the box kick ability from the back. It is worth noting that on these scrums, the opposing scrum half cannot advance beyond the ball. The opposing scrum half also cannot advance beyond where the flanker is, so that he can't just come around the back. There's a little pocket of space that if you play it right, you can get into and get a solid scrum half pass, or because we've seen Ben Thompson be so powerful with his foot, to get a good kickoff.
Chargers shading a couple men back, potentially looking for that kick as we go through the scrum, and we're going to have to do that one again.
So this isn't a case of the scrum wheeling. It went beyond 45 degrees, so we're going to have the scrum reset. Is going to be a put-in for the West Side team again. This is the clock winding down, eating up valuable minutes. It is a tied game, so a team does need to score, otherwise we're going into an overtime situation. Overtime, of course, not sudden death when it comes to a game of 15s. It is something where you do play multiple overtime periods.
We have not seen a single drop kick attempt from either team. As we get closer to the end, do you expect to see that, or you think they're going to put that away?
Not at all. You don't see the drop kick used very frequently at all in American rugby. I would be shocked if any of these high school teams have actually set up a drop kick play. We did not see them attempt conversions when they had opportunities in front of the post.
That's true.
I mean, I would love for someone to prove me wrong. I'm a fan of drop kick. I think it's a fantastic tactical choice on the field, but you have to have someone that can do it and can do it under pressure.
Chargers get the turnover, but they're guilty of a knock-on here. So we will set this one up once more.
So it is going to be a scrum to the Chargers, advantage being put in from the Chargers scrum half just inside of the 22-meter mark.
Wind blowing straight across the field here from the far side to the near side as these teams get ready for another scrum.
If I'm a betting woman, if the Chargers win this scrum, I would look to see that number 12 running a switch line yet again. It has paid off for the Chargers multiple times.
Chargers do come up with it, lose the ball, but Maddock able to pick it up and maintain possession. Cole Maddock, maybe the smallest player on here, fighting hard for that ball. Great effort.
Great job here by the West Side flankers here. Not only was he able to get the tackle behind the gain line, able to create a turnover. So now it is Ben Thompson on the go with a quick tap on the penalty. Takes it all the way to the far sideline, and look at this, coming back to the middle of the field are the West Side team. That is their number 20, Muhammad Chirali.
We're starting to see some more solid tackling from the Chargers than we saw in the first half, and they have held up some of these West breakouts with just some great, solid individual tackles.
So we see the teams trading penalties. It is the Chargers now with the ball trying to charge their way downfield, and it is a good line break here from that number 3, Colin Boyton.
Great effort from Boyden, just pushes through, gets his team in deeper, trying to get that ball free, and it's West that comes up with it.
So some key turnovers here at the breakdown for West, keeping them in the game, preventing Chargers from gaining too much momentum. Would love to see teams just find the bit of space. Worth noting right now, the Chargers are playing almost without a fullback. There is space downfield, but Chargers with the ball in hand. It doesn't matter as they've created another turnover.
Big tackle there from Okule for West. Chargers maintain, but that ball's getting a little mixed up.
This great counter-rucking by this West Side team. When you have the ball, when you are tackled, it is a fair contest at the ruck. It is not an advantage to one team just because they brought it into contact. So as a ball carrier, you must release the ball. You cannot keep hands on. You have to give the other team an opportunity to play. A good kick downfield, and we're loving it in the crowd. Well caught here by the man in the Wisconsin hat.
The gentleman in the red hat, great grab. Red hat, pink seat, and an outstanding catch as we go in touch here right about at the midfield line. And we are in fact going to do it right at midfield as referee Gusset letting us know where we're going to set up.
West side. Again to the West Side setup, they are going to throw almost certainly to their first pot. You can kind of tell where they got their lifters. And there it is, but it goes to the second, so a good little bit of deception there. They had their full line out again. When they were short numbers, you could tell exactly where they're going because they had their pot of 3 and their pot of 2 pots of 3, gives them the opportunity, and look at that, the ball, great go forward here at midfield. Good play between
Keyshawn Shankin, Nishant McGee, both moving it forward here as this one comes loose. And it's taken by Thompson. Thompson elects to take a little stutter step and move in, flips back. What a job to get that one back through traffic. Ball loose, though, on the tackle. Chargers trying to grab, but it's taken once again by McGee.
So it was a good offload here between this West Side team, going back to the Sword of Football, and of course one of the best movies ever in the program. You've got to protect the rock.
You absolutely do. Okule with it. He's looking to find a man to pass it to. That one gets tapped on the hand.
All right, so here we have a penalty to the West Side team. We see the tap and go again. If it had been in range and the wind wasn't as strong, that could have been a kick opportunity to win the game. Instead, not taking those chances of having missed the kick because the ball would remain live. I like the choice to go downfield, especially with the big man, Okulie, going forward. And now here, Nyshawn McGee. He's got the numbers to the outside.
And he moves to the outside. It's David Gomez. Gomez loses it. Picked up, though, by Sabine. Sabine down, and it will stay with West Side as they push into the 5-meter line. Inside of 10 minutes to play in this second and final half. We're tied at 12 in the D3 Boys State Championship. Ball getting lost, and I believe the Chargers have come up with it. Chargers have got it, and it's Cole Maddock picking it up. Flips into his own goal. And this is going to be a try for West Side. Maddock flips it into the goal. West able to dive on top, and they have taken the lead.
So what we saw there was a really interesting series of play. We saw the tap and go. We saw the ball go downfield. The ball gets to the outside through the hands of the West Side number 15, David Gomez. He doesn't quite protect the ball in contact. We'd love to have seen a secure placement of it. Instead, he is fortunate that Devin Seaman was there to recover the number 8. As they get downfield, a little bit of jostling. Chargers with multiple men in their counter ruck, able to produce what seemed like a turnover when it came to their defense. But the ball bobbled inside of the in goal. You can't have a ruck. The ball is either touched down for the rugby equivalent of a touchback, or it's going to be a try. So in that situation, it is West Side that gets their ball, or their hands on the ball for the try, leading 17-12. And again, when we're talking about things like the end of a game, clock management, championship rugby, he can take his full 90 seconds. He doesn't need to rush his kick because now they're in the lead. They just need to maintain it.
West Side up 17-12, can make it 19 here with the conversion attempt from Ben Thompson. Their third try of the game is good to give them the lead late in this second half of the D3 State Championship. Thompson with the run up and the kick, and again pushes it to the left. That one will be no good. And the Chargers with a little glimmer of hope here if they can get a try of their own. Thompson has given him the opening.
Thompson, though, an experienced senior player on this West Side team, as well as with the select, they are going to be receiving the ball. They just need to manage the game, maintain possession, not give any turnovers away, and definitely not going to commit any penalties. If you're the Chargers, looking for composure as well. They nearly come away with the ball.
The Chargers have got it. Oh,
but
boy.
Ball is knocked on.
Oh, heartbreaker for the Chargers. I thought he had a clean break. Easton Moberg, the number 5.
It was a cheeky little restart attempt. I love that play. We like seeing the contest for the ball in the air. In the game of sevens rugby, the USA is actually the best team in the world when it comes to recollecting their own restarts. Chargers nearly come away with it. Instead, it is West Side ball. We see West Side almost certainly going to the far side of the field off of the scrum.
That one gets back to Thompson, and he quickly flips it away. Working up the far side, a step back in, and West Side with a little bit of speed, and now they've got an opening as they cut all the way across the midfield line.
That was a nice pass to the man off into space on the left side of the field, leaving the ball in the air for the man to run up in front and get there. That way they're going to prevent the Chargers from being able to make hard tackles against them. They don't want to allow any turnovers. We have the sideline clock, or excuse me, the scoreboard clock back on. We are just under 4 minutes left to go in this D3 State Championship game. It is West Side leading Chargers to 17-12, and it is West Side with the penalty. The kick doesn't quite find touch. This is an uncharacteristic error from Ben Thompson off of his boot. He's been so good in open field play so far.
Cole Maddock runs that one forward. We've got a whistle against West. And the substitute number 22, a little slow to get up there, returns back to his position. Maddock moves it near side as the Chargers continue to run. We got one man to beat. It's Ben Thompson. Thompson, though, is going to take it all the way to the sideline. Thompson fired up on a big stop there at the edge.
It was a fantastic tackle to touch, covering for a little bit of that overshoot coming from the West Side fullback, David Gomez. One of the biggest things when it comes to tackling, especially these open field tackles, is you have to match the speed of the ball carrier. So he was coming over so hard, a little bit of an over pursuit. Little things, fortunately cleaned up by Thompson, and it is still West Side ball, West Side with the game to control. We have just under 3 minutes left to go in the second half. We see the short throw again on the line out. The ball just has to go 5 meters. It is judged that it went there. So again, playing high percentage rugby, going to Alex Alcuye, taking the ball going forward.
Yeah,
and it's still West Side ball in hand.
If you've got a big man like Akule, no reason not to get the ball to him. West Side still trying to grab it. They lose it though, and this is a turnover to the Chargers with 2.5 minutes to go.
A key turnover by Avery Bayer, jumping on the ball as it comes loose, and now is the Chargers in attack.
With some space here as they're running across. Nearly roped down from behind, but they keep it going. That one, nearly turned over. They grab it in the middle of the field, and they're still going. Nice flip back. What a tackle. No, it's no good. He slips free. Thompson with his hands on. Chargers moving back. Now they're looking to move forward again. Finally brought down at the legs was Brandon Anderson. And that's going to be a whistle against West. Quick play from the Chargers as they move it forward. We're inside of 2 minutes to go. They trail 17-12 against Madison West. Hang on to the ball after a little bit of a loss on the pass, and we'll go into the ruck.
So we're getting the Chargers opportunities here because Westside is not wrapping on their tackles. They have to complete those tackles and get them to ground. One of my favorite coaches ever, Jules McCoy from the USA Sevens team, will say, tackle them to ground yesterday. These guys aren't getting their other arm around. So now the Chargers are breaking and breaking and breaking tackles. There could have been stoppages. We could have had solid rucking platforms. Instead, we've had our broken tackles. When we do have a ruck, people out of position. This is giving the Chargers opportunities that the Westside cannot afford to give them.
All the way to the near side as the Chargers look to pick up speed. A nice little fake, but a great stop from West there was a solid form tackle as the Chargers look to get it free and keep going. We've got 1 minute to play here. West Side up by 5, 17-12 in the second half of the D3 Boys Championship. Into the ruck once more, and we're going to get a whistle.
This is going to be a penalty. This is going to go against West Side's number 4, Quentin Gomez, not rolling away from the breakdown area. This did not give the Chargers an opportunity to get the ball out. We have 45 seconds left to go in the second half. We see the tap here from the Chargers. West Side aligned in defense. They just need to get their tackles made, hoping for any sort of turnover, and this might be it.
Sabine with a great stop. The ball does come free. Both teams battling over it, and it's West Side that comes up. West feeding it back, and here they come the other way. They've got a step on the outside. Good stop by the Chargers, but they only have 20 seconds to go.
So all West Side needs to do is keep the ball alive to get to the clock winding down. Then they can kick it out of bounds and win this match. Have to maintain possession. Nothing fancy.
West still holding on, looking for a way to go back. Struggling, pounding forward and dragged down. Pops back, right back up, and dragged down a second time. Getting up and going once more, and again down to the ground, and they'll look to send this one out. It's Ben Thompson that holds. Quick play across. They've got it, and they're headed towards the end zone as they continue to move forward. That time it's Keyshawn Shankin. Ball down on the ground once more. We're across the 60-minute line.
So this is a penalty. The game cannot end on a penalty. He can choose to just tap the ball and put to touch. I don't know if these young men know.
They might not be aware. Akule gets tackled down. Ball still loose in there. This one taken again by West as they continue to try and push forward. Into the ruck once more. West grabs it, still driving forward. Continuing to push. They're ahead 17-12. They just need to find a way to end this game. That time it's grabbed by Maddox. It's the Chargers that grab it. And that will do it as the Chargers are tackled in their own goal. And with about 61 minutes off the clock, we conclude it is West Side, your D3 Boys champion for 2018.
So a thrilling game of rugby. West Side showing a lot of grit, down men, dealing with penalties, not able to play their aggressive style of defense. They had to scale it back a little bit, but they got the key turnovers when it counted. It was the Chargers that won the turnover battle. It was the Chargers that had more penalty opportunities. It was the Chargers that had more men on the field, and Westside is able to make it count when it mattered the most, coming with 3 tries off of penalties on their own end, playing solid defense inside of their red zone. If we were to look at actual conversion rates of getting into the red zone versus tries being scored, it would be all about the Westside defense. defense there. An impressive win for the young men from the Madison West Side, and it was well played by a young Chargers team.
Congratulations to Madison West Side. Congratulations also for the Chargers making it here. In the end, the West Side physicality just a little bit too much. And as we head to the handshake line, we're going to take a break. You're watching the State Rugby Championship here in Wisconsin on OCA Media. Stay tuned.
At Oregon Community Bank, our purpose for over 38 years has been to serve our customers. Our goal is to help them improve their financial lives with innovative banking products and services, coupled with unparalleled customer service. Doing banking the right way, bringing our skills and expertise to improve the financial stability to individuals and businesses is how we have grown. We call this Feel Good Banking. So give us a call. Drop into one of our convenient branches or connect online at OregonCommunityBank.com. Feel good about banking again.
There's no cost for imagination, no charge for dreams, no limit to what we can accomplish together. It takes grit, determination, but mostly it takes you. They are your ideas, your visions. We're here to help. Early mornings, late nights, heavy loads. We are real people turning extraordinary dreams into reality. Sunbelt Rentals. Your ideas, our equipment.
Your Social Security disability benefits have been denied.
You're upset, and maybe you're scared.
You need to appeal and get those monthly checks, but you've never done anything like this before.
It might be your first time, but not ours.
The Becker Law Office has helped over 10,000 people in Wisconsin appeal for disability benefits.
Disability law is all we do.
Call 1-800-254-7766, the Becker Law Office.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Wisconsin State Boys Rugby Championship here at the Wisconsin Rugby Complex in Cottage Grove. My name's Zach Seeloff here with you for OCA Media. Thanks so much for joining us. Check us out on the web at ocamedia.com. We're on Charter Cable, channels 983 and 984. We're also on YouTube, OCA Media, and on Facebook, Oregon Cable Access. You can send us your game day photos with the hashtag OCA Game Day. If you're just joining us in the Division III championship game, it was Madison West versus the Chargers. Madison West takes home the victory 17-12. 3 tries for Madison West. They missed on 2 conversion attempts. 2 tries for the Chargers. They missed on one of their conversion attempts. A great battle in the waning few minutes of the game. But unfortunately for the Chargers, they were not able to overcome the physicality and the experience of this Madison West Side club. Madison West featuring an absolute ton of seniors, quite a few juniors, and just a couple of sophomores on their team. Those players include Keyshawn Shanklin, who is the starting quarterback for West's football team. A 4-year player, number 1, Alex Akule, and also a 4-year player, number 9, Ben Thompson. He's headed to the Santa Barbara Rugby Academy, and we're going to have an interview with him from Liz Entwistle in just a moment. So until we get to that, again, as we recap this game, you can see West on your screen there celebrating, happy. They win the D3 championship here in the Wisconsin State Rugby Association Championship Day. We're going to have the D1 match coming up after this. We'll have the D2 match at 3 p.m. today. Those are all on OCA Media. We're going to be live here for all of that, so please do stay tuned as we begin our coverage here. We continue our coverage of the Wisconsin State Rugby Championship. We're getting both teams lined up now. They're going to get their medals. They're going to have the award presentation, including of the cup for the champions. Great effort from both of these teams, and honestly, the Chargers, I think, are going to be back. They've got a great team. They've got a lot of speed. What they don't have, unfortunately, is the experience and the size in particular. The size of West really gave them some advantages as they were pushing through. They also have a couple of speedsters who were able to get the edge and get some scores on this game. I think we're just about ready to get started with the presentations of the awards. Let's head down to the PA.
This was like a D1 match. The quality of play out there, you had me confused. Congratulations to both teams for a very well played game. We're going to have a couple of presenters here. We have Matt Peterson, head coach of UW Whitewater, national champion. We have Brian Allen, who's the coach of the Exiles, Madison Exiles. So let's first say, give him a big round of applause for a heck of a match. Runner-up are the Chargers. Congratulations to the Chargers, and here's their coach.
Aaron Schleicher, Carter Bell, Nick Kasalik, Jaden Wolfgram, Preston Miller, Gavin, what's your last name? Gavin Baisley, James Reel, Isaac Post, Kyle Wood, Evan Pierce, Brett Wischke, Tristan Kiesick, John Matthew, Braden, what's your last name? Braden Anderson, Connor Pierce, Colin Butine, Kate Allen, Avery Bear, Jonathan Taylor, Dylan Foth, Chris Angel, Cole Maddock, Dominic Dominguez, Luke Morgan, Angel Rangel, and Eastern Moberg.
That was a great game. And now the Division III first place champions, Madison West. And Josh.
Alex Okaloo, Ben Thompson, Captain Ben Thompson, Keyshawn Shanklin, Armani Warfield, Juan Avila, Jake Stats, Eric Pace-Hendrick, David Gomez, Mark Pace-Hendrick, Devin Sieben, Fernando Burgos, Johnny Gutnick, Quentin Gomez, Evan Brandt, Muhammad Trolley, Nisha McGee, Casper Lupa, Charlie Fry. Hold on. Oh.
You want one for Brent?
I need one for Derek and one other guy? Yeah, I got them one for each. Awesome. Hey, thank you, Sheboygan, and great job, Westside. Thank you.
All right, coming up next is going to be the Division I championship, Pulaski versus Chargers.
conversions. Two tries for the Chargers, one failed conversion for them. And that is the tale of the tape. You can see West getting excited here. An outstanding effort. They should be very happy with how they played. The Chargers, though, no reason to hang their heads. They played very, very good rugby in this game. And in the end, I think we're just overmatched physically more than anything. West, a little bit more experienced, a little bit bigger, and we're able to make that work for them. So as we move across here, we're going to have the interview, Liz Entwistle and Ben Thompson. We'll bring that to you in just a second. Ben Thompson, the scrum back for Madison West. Before we do that, though, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. You're watching OCA Media's presentation of the Wisconsin State Rugby Championships.
OCA Media Sports would like to thank our generous sponsors for helping make this programming possible. Oregon and Waunakee Community Banks, your locally owned full-service bank, offering locally serviced, commercial, and residential loans. Feel good banking. Becker Law Office. At Becker Law Office, Social Security disability appeals are all we do. Call us today for a free consultation. Sunbelt Rentals. Have a large job or weekend project? Turn to Sunbelt Rentals for all your equipment needs. LaRue Construction. Your #1 choice for remodeling, additions, and new home construction. Do it right the first time. Choose LaRue Construction. Taking pride in what we do. Clover Products. Designing and manufacturing long-range microphones here in Wisconsin since 2012, with uses ranging from NFL sidelines to law enforcement to wedding videos. The Wisconsin Rugby Referee Society, promoting and growing the sport of rugby union football at all ages. Madison United Rugby, supporting and developing athletes for national and international amateur rugby competition. Madison United Rugby coordinates and supports its member rugby clubs.
Congratulations, gentlemen, on your state championship. Just wondering what was going through your minds here as you came into the second half. You had to come from behind, tie the game, and go ahead for a win. What was your game plan? How did you adjust? We'll take it from there.
I had no doubt. I knew we would come through. We fought through adversity all year. 15 guys. All we got, all we need. I knew we were going to come through and get the W.
Well, obviously we had a red card and a yellow card, so we know we're down a guy. We had to make some adjustments, send some guys out to the backs, maybe be down a man in a scrum, switch our lineouts up. But like Alex said, we're a confident team. We know we got the talent, we know we got the will to win, and we know we got the drive, so that's all we need.
Now, your team had a significant amount of juniors and seniors out on the field. What sort of legacy are you looking to leave behind, or what advice would you have to the younger men on your team that are going to come back and hopefully defend this championship?
Recruit. That's the biggest thing. Get guys out here. We had 3 seniors, Keyshawn Shanklin and Armani Warfield, both first-team all-conference football players. We brought them in first year. They're hella players.
Yeah, just keep recruiting, working hard in practice, coming to practice, working hard in the off-season, playing other sports, staying involved, doing well in school, staying out of trouble. That's all the advice I can give.
And then one of the great things about the sport of rugby is now you guys are going to move on and play select with these Chargers men that you played against. That has to be something you're looking forward to with such a tight contest. You're heading on to the Rocky Mountain Challenge, to the Midwest Championship, Cody Cup, and everything. What are you looking forward to now that you get to join together with all the best athletes here?
I don't think neither of us tried out for the team this year. No.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think with gentlemen of your skill, you have bright futures ahead. Good luck to you as you move on to college. Hopefully we'll see you around playing for the Wisconsin Rugby Club. Good luck in Santa Barbara, Ben. Thank you, and we'll be back with the Division I championship with Pulaski against the Chargers first side.
Thanks to Liz Entwistle, a great interview with Alex Okelu and Ben Thompson. Congratulations to Madison Westside on the victory in the D1 state championship, the D3 state championship here at the Wisconsin Rugby Complex in Cottage Grove. We're going to send you out for just a few moments, and then we will come back with the Division I state title game. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned here to OCA Media.
At Oregon Community Bank, our purpose for over 38 years has been to serve our customers. Our goal is to help them improve their financial lives with innovative banking products and services, coupled with unparalleled customer service. Doing banking the right way, bringing our skills and expertise to improve the financial stability to individuals and businesses is how we have grown. We call this feel-good banking. So give us a call. Drop into one of our convenient branches or connect online at OregonCommunityBank.com. feel good about banking again.
There's no cost for imagination, no charge for dreams, no limit to what we can accomplish together. It takes grit, determination, but mostly it takes you. They are your ideas, your visions. We're here to help. Early mornings, late nights, heavy loads. We are real people turning extraordinary dreams into reality. Sunbelt Rentals. Your ideas, our equipment.
Your Social Security disability benefits have been denied.
You're upset, and maybe you're scared.
You need to appeal and get those monthly checks, but you've never done anything like this before.
It might be your first time, but not ours.
The Becker Law Office has helped over 10,000 people in Wisconsin appeal for disability benefits.
Disability law is all we do.
Call 1-800-254-7766, the Becker Law Office.
This is a presentation of OCA Media Sports.